Farms. I'm Dawn, also known as Knittin' Wolf.
Is that a question?
Yeah.
And I'm James, also known as Wolf Photo. This podcast is brought to you by Wolf Farms. You can find us on the internet at wolffarms.net. We have a scent of the month every month, and for the month of August, it is chocolate-covered cherries. You get 25% off that fragrance, or actually any product that is scented in that fragrance. And we have other sale items as well, so swing on by, check that out. I'm sure you'll find something you'll enjoy. I want to welcome new and returning viewers. Thanks for joining us today. So, what do we got on tap for this episode?
This week's episodes include farm happenings in the coop, to market, squeal like a pig, picking on the farm, in the arena, and roundup.
Yeah, see, we guess get started with farm happenings. I guess today is kind of off. I had to, something came up, I had to go into work for a while and resolve some issues today, so that kind of messed up our usual timing on the podcast, so I got to get Dawn back in her mojo so that we can knock this podcast out, get it all edited and out to you guys.
Yeah.
So, what else on our farm happenings?
This week's been the week of dental visits. Dental. Every day.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You just like it up there.
Yes.
They know you by your first name.
They're going to put me to work.
They say hi when you walk in the door because they know you're back.
Again, so yeah, between me and Jimmy, we've been there.
Yeah. Well, you had an issue you had to go in for, and then
it reissued and had to go back in, and
had so much fun the first time we decided to go back for some more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
then I wanted to make Jimmy suffer, so
had
him go.
Take him in for a checkup and then some cavities to follow up.
Yeah, but I've been somewhere every day, and I am not used to leaving the farm that much.
Yeah.
It's like I need a rest day. Maybe Wednesday.
Maybe Wednesday, huh? Yeah, you and your schedule
that's
stuff.
Dad's surgery. I don't know what's going on that day.
Well, you figure it out. You get a day in.
Life.
Take a day off. The ducks can wait for their pools to get cleaned an extra day. Taking a rest.
Yeah.
So.
And that's a subliminal knee nudge under the table to me. I hurt a week and a half ago my intercostal muscle.
You pulled the muscle.
Yeah, it
under
hurts
your
like
arm, and it hurts you, and you need to rest. She doesn't get that. She doesn't get that. I told her I'll make her a sling, and then she can just walk around.
Well, Sasha has Hello Kitty duct tape. She's
well, you need to rest it because pulled muscles don't get better if you keep aggravating them. So
yeah, when it hurts to breathe, it's when it's getting bad.
Yeah, so.
This is the joy of Wolf Farms, aren't you?
She's ready for it. She's ready for a nap. Let's just put it that way. Because normally we're like fresh out in the morning. You know, now it's the afternoon and the plane is coming in for a land.
Well, it's after 4 and I'm ready for bed by 6.
Yeah, so we'll just whiz on through this.
So more
podcast.
happy joy news. We had Fuji's chemo yesterday. And this was a real biggie. It's one of the hard hitter chemos where they have the EKG and they do a lot of prep with Benadryl and nausea shots, and they made her yelp and cry. And
she had a rough day.
Yeah, it was rough.
They stuck her, 4 times? You know,
she had IV fluid. She had the IV for the chemo.
And she had the Benadryl
shots,
and then the nausea one. So, yeah, she was pretty worn out by the
They
end
had
of
to
the
suck up to her with some egg from their breakfast burritos, and because they felt bad because she
was upset. You could tell she wouldn't even look at them. It's like so. Yeah, it's not normally that rough, but they gave her extra IV this time to help flush out the chemo to keep the kidneys going good. So, so she made it through, and she's actually acting pretty good today.
Yeah, she's acting pretty normal. A little tired, but who wouldn't? I'm tired from going down there. It's a long trip. But they're wonderful. I just cannot say enough about
Yep.
her doctor and nurses. So
Yeah, they're very friendly.
and I've got to think of something for them. I'm going to put this out to you guys. I want to do something special for them for Christmas. You know, a little something. And I was thinking a cowl, but then they're more southern California. They don't get cold at all like us. So I don't know if they would ever use that. So if you have any ideas, put it in this week's thread. So because I did the noodle already for her, and
yeah, well, down there where they're at, low is like 51.
yeah,
It's Southern California, down near the beach. Doesn't freeze, doesn't snow, so it's you got to find a warm weather type anything. If I would think if you're going to knit something, but it is what it is.
Thought I'd throw that out there.
It doesn't get overly warm down there, but it
brains
doesn't
are
overly
better.
cool either. So.
I'm just talking right over you. What the heck am I doing?
You just want to rush through this. Oh, we've already been there. We did that one already. So, in the coop.
So weird, I haven't seen you all day.
I know. I've been gone, and this is normally our podcast. And
Are we really in the coop already?
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
What
What's
else
in
have
your
I missed?
coop?
I already talked about work.
What's in your coop?
What's in my? Oh, I get to start.
Why not?
Oh, look at that.
It's all different today.
What's
it's all
a
about
hay?
you today. I got
All
a
right,
sleepy
well,
baby here.
Still working on my sock. Getting really close to finishing this one up. I just put in some good knit time this week because I actually worked on 2 whole projects. Try to get this all untangled. I just stuck it in my bag and it's
Don't get it untangled, because then you really get it tangled.
here on camera entanglement. All right, so I've put in some knit time here. So here's my dicky doo. That's where I started, and I've got it's like about 5 or 6 stripes in there. So moving along, it's getting close to where I'm going to start doing the cuff, or what would you call that? Yeah. So almost have flown the coop, but it's coming along. I'm doing this in the Desert Vista Dye Works S'mores colorway, if I didn't mention that, on Hilah number 1s. And we'll put that back in, and then I will show you this. I worked on our shared project that we were doing together.
Oh, you're just jamming, aren't you?
I'm trying to get some entertainment for the knitter community out there, because I'm just here for laughs and giggles sometimes. I feel like I'm not getting much knitting done. So I did a little bit. There's the dicky doo. That's where Dawn stopped, and then I picked up from there. So.
And this is the Hilah Brook by Paula Emmons Beasley.
Oh, thank you. I'm just
Size 5 needles, I think.
Yeah, it's nice knitting on big needles. My hands don't get all crampy. But anyway, so that's where Dawn left off. This is where we are at now. So it's time to hand this off back to Dawn so she can do her part. But it's coming along.
It's to you.
So.
And that's with Knitter's Nightmare in the Fuji Apple colorway.
Yeah, that's her colorway. So it's coming along. And here's the skein.
It's hot in here.
It's a nice colorway.
It's awesome. Sparkles.
Sparkly.
I think that tripped you out, seeing some of the sparkles. You were wondering what that was.
Well, then when I was knitting, I wasn't thinking sparkles. I never knit with sparkle base yarns, and I'm like, oh, there's a strand of something sticking out. I'm like, oh, it's a sparkly
And it's in the Fuji Apple Sasha bag.
Fuji apple. There you go.
Stitched by Sasha, and those will be coming soon to her shop. Stitchedbysasha.com.
All right. Well, that's everything I had in my coop.
I had cast on itis in a minute. My mostly munching bag. Mostly munching. She's munching away. What are you munching on, Melissa? So, this is the Outlander Cow by Andy Figgin. And this would have been done, but I am oversizing it. It's done with Misty Alpaca, baby alpaca, hand dyed. And this is all I have left, but it's not going nowhere. And I wanted to use up all my skeins. So it's a skirt. It's now a skirt.
Definitely a cowl for a long-necked person.
I'm making it for a giraffe. So, where is the dicky? I can't even see. Okay, it's down there, the orange.
Right here.
Let me back it up so you can even see how much I've done. So, yep, I've done a lot on this. And this isn't in the round, of course. But yeah, it's now my Outlander. Well, it's supposed to go, it can be a cowl, but then it can go over you, kind of like a capelet thing. Or, even better, turn it into a skirt.
Yeah, it can be a long skirt by the time you get done with that.
Yeah. I don't know why I decided to use up all the yarn. The 2 skeins would have been enough, but...
How many skeins did you use?
3.
No. Yeah, with the hay.
And it's done with size 9 or 8s. How high does the highest go? 8s or 9?
I don't know. You can look at the needle.
I could always look at the needle. Not that it really matters. It's an 8. It goes up to higher, sharp 8s. Interchangeables.
We got a big pile.
I know.
A lot of stuff on the table today.
So then I cast, this is in my Absolute Wonder bag. I cast on, because this is one I had put in a bag for you to do, but then I thought you're not going to want to knit with pink. And then, so it's called Holy Cowl, and it's UU. It's by Heather Walpole. I don't know if this is, you can get it on Ravelry or not.
Did you get that when we were doing the yarn crawl?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's about time this was knitted, because that was the first yarn crawl that we did.
Yeah, I remember you getting that, because that designer was there when we were at the shop.
Yeah. So this is UU yarn, woolly worsted, washable, 100% merino in the berry colorway. So it is super yarn. Look at, I'm going to put that really close so you can see the twist on this, because it is so nice. So, yeah, I got 2.
With it.
Yeah, you want to see? So I just started it. Not much done. This is done on the tins. See, I knew I had something done on the tins. So, yep, it's a cowl. It's a holy cow.
A holy cow?
So, yeah, it'll have little holes. I got my vintage rose holy Bible. See, I told you things have to match.
have to go together.
Yeah, so I just did a little bit, not much. I was in the laundry room and I grabbed it and things started jumping out at me, wanting to be cast on.
Calling out your name, wanting to be knitted.
Yep, so then I gotta get rid of some of these tabs because that's messing me up. Oh, there it is, Topanga. In my Stitch by Sasha bag. I think she calls it a wristlet. I'm doing the Topanga by Katie DeGroff. I hope I said that name right. And this was a kit I was sent. It's paid for pattern on Ravelry. Can be like worn like a scarf or, you know, decoration. It's really cool. And it has beads and cables and lace and the whole shebang. Shebang. And this is done with Inner Yarn Zen. And she's on Etsy. In the driftwood colorway.
I like that colorway.
Isn't it pretty? It's got a lot of, because when you're knitting with it, you see tinges of, ooh, there's a little bit of yellow, and it's really, you can see the shine of the silk that's in that.
Pretty awesome.
So, then the beads came with the kit too. Got this a while ago. We had a giveaway too on the podcast for this, so. Yeah, and these are on my chow goos. Because, see, I've ran out of needles. You know when I've ran out of needles if I go for the chow goos.
Time for another set of hi-hi's.
Yeah, so I've gotten chart 1 completely done. The setup and then chart 1. So, and then the beads, I don't know if you can see those. Those are kind of like on the edges by the yarn overs. Just for a teeny bit of shimmer. So, yep. And this is a charted and a written pattern, so you have both options there. And another vintage rose marker. It's a sand dollar. There we go. Because they had sent a stitch marker and I already killed it. It had a little seashell on it, and it went flying this morning across the room. So, but the shell's still in here. So
You're hard on them stitch markers.
I am hard on stitch markers. I don't know why.
So is that everything that's in your coop? You ready for a nap? Let's do that nap podcast. Watch us snoring away.
Yep.
Nothing from the coop.
No, I was really trying with the
Oh, that's right. You were trying to finish up.
ornery. I better get this back on the table. So I thought for sure I could get that done this week, the Outlander Cow, and I didn't.
Well, next week. Something to shoot for. You show them it all finished up.
Yeah.
Outlander tube. That's okay.
So to market.
To market.
Yeah.
Dawn went to market for a gift for me, I guess, kind of, sort of. She went, got me a Tervis Diet Coke cup, I guess. This is number 2. She got me another Diet Coke one, and I'm trying to get it so that the glare is not on there.
I'm waiting for the water to come out.
Yeah. Wash your knitting. But yeah, she did order that for me. I don't know why, just out of the blue. Just because I've
Just
cut back.
because.
Yeah, to celebrate the fact that I don't drink Diet Coke anymore. I've really cut back, so it's kind of like I'm still drinking it, but not. So our ornery dog is out irritating the cat. So that's that.
I am
and
so.
I know. Pay attention.
I'm not
focus,
here.
focus, focus. Now, if you went to the market and you got yourself...
Oh, yes. Mantraband.com have all types of bracelets that have different sayings that you can choose from. And it comes packaged in... They're actually in California. It comes packaged in this recyclable box, and I actually have it on, and it says never give up, and I have it posted on I don't know if that'll show. I can't see.
It's not focusing.
Oh.
Yeah, show us all our notes.
Oh well, it's on Instagram. There, I'll try it that way. Still focusing on your face. There we go.
Kind of duck out of the screen.
So, yep, that's pretty cool. It says, never give up on your dreams, never give up on yourself, keep the faith, take action, persevere, believe in miracles, because as long as you are alive, anything is possible. So, yeah.
Pretty cool. I know you've been talking about that.
Yeah,
I'm
for
glad
a
you got it.
while.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And it's made out of silver.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep. So, pretty cool. I thought I'd share it with you.
yeah, awesome.
And then, we're
Got
still...
some, yarn.
Yarn, yes I did. Well, I ordered it. Oh, it comes from Australia, so Australia.
Uh-oh, here comes the...
Danger.
No, don't do the impersonations.
My impersonation. This is Solar Flare Fibers, and I was really excited to get this. Fifikins. Here is her card. Didn't know there was a note on the back of the card. That's why I'm like, oh, what's that? And I left it packaged because I've never seen on a podcast where how it was packaged, and it was so pretty. I did peek.
But you had to...
But yeah, it comes packaged all wrapped up, and it has a pretty stitch marker and bow.
So now you can finally remove it.
I had to touch it.
Yeah, you were playing with it.
Yes, I did. I had to play with it. So this is her Apollo base, 80% BFL, which I've never had any BFL, and nylon. 400 yards in winter rainbow. Look how gorgeous this is. Boy, my legs are getting such a wash job right now. Dundee has the longest tongue. But this is so pretty. I think I'm going to do one of Lauren's patterns. What's it called? Let's see.
I'm sure you got Lauren on the tab there somewhere.
I did. I have too many tabs. Lauren, Limnit Crochet. I don't know where she went. Oh, wow. Aren't you smart?
You learn something new every day.
Well, I've done a lot. Her Rainbow Explosion socks. I've done them before in Mustache Yarn, Rainbow Yarn. But I thought this would be a fun rainbowy yarn, too. And she is our
designer along. Find yourself some good yarn and join in.
So, Solar Flare Fibers. It's so pretty. I'm so excited because I've been wanting to get some. So,
sorry.
It's Dundee's toy. It's an annoying. He likes anything that makes lots of noise.
Yep.
So then, is that all my 2 marketing?
I think that's everything at the market.
So now,
Got this
squeal like a pig. Let's go.
Squeal like a pig. You gotta say it right. Otherwise
I know, but I'm trying to find all my stuff here. How'd you do that? Okay. I was gifted a pattern from Apple Blossom SF. Sarah, you're looking at me like, what the heck are you talking about?
No, actually, the dog's got the cat cornered. I'm trying to figure out how to distract him.
Her new design called the Caledonian Forest Cow. And that's some place in Michigan. Caledonian Forest.
Cool.
I didn't know that.
Well, there you go. You've never been to Michigan, so...
No, I haven't.
You'll learn something new.
So this was cool. Looks really warm and toasty. So thank you so much, Sarah. I think she has a hat that matches it, too. Or maybe it's not out. Yes, it is. See, it's right there. It's looking at me.
Calling out your name?
Yep. So then we got some packages in the mail.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I'm forgetting to show something else. It's all this stuff.
This would have been better 6 hours ago.
Yes. I am more focused. I am not focused. I'm thinking I need to get my pea soup going. And it's almost time to feed the dogs.
Well, the quicker we get through this, the quicker you can get over to that. So
I was sent a lovely package from Angel. She's known as AMC Guerra on Ravelry.
You know that site you guys all hang out on? Yeah, that one.
Awesome note. And she sent me a Japanese knotted bag from the Knotted Bag. God, this is sounding so stupid. From the Knotted Bag.
Just get through it.
Here's the tag of the Knotted Bag. And it has awesome Snoopy in the fall. I've never had one of these bags. You stick your stuff. Look, you can see the cool inside fabric. You stick your stuff in there, and then you whoop-de-doo it over here like that. Isn't that the coolest? You know, so then you can
hold it.
You know, well, it's kind of a big one, but
it's okay. Yeah, you got a lot of big projects.
You got to hang it. Isn't that neat?
Pretty cool.
I love Snoopy.
Mm-hmm. That is true. Fall, we got to watch
cooler weather.
Every time there's a holiday that has a Snoopy cartoon, we got to watch it a couple times. So
I have them on DVD too. But this was so cool. I was totally surprised. Yeah.
Pretty awesome.
I know the Knotted Bag. I think I saw this on Instagram too, and I was like, "Oh, that's cute." So thank you so much. And she has wonderful designs on Ravelry too. So go check her. I have a lot of her patterns. I haven't had time to knit any of them yet. That's why I need to just keep casting on.
Yeah. At least you're in the works with everything, huh?
Yeah. I thought he was eating. So then we got another package in the mail. I got to divvy this up. We got for a prize donation. And And this is from Stitch by Sasha. I just showed you.
Showed you
her
all of her
website.
stuff. Yes.
Stitch by Sasha.
StitchBySasha.com. There you go.
So she sent a medium-sized bag and one of her little mini box bags as a prize. And I don't know yet what we're gonna, because this has to be something special because her bags are phenomenal. So super fun that we got a prize donation.
Pretty awesome.
Maybe that'll be the Thea Coleman's alum one.
That would be cool.
So then
get enough entries and we'll...
She sent an awesome card. Yes, enough entries. She sent an awesome card, and then she finished a pair of socks, so she sent me some of her sugar-coated. This is water.
This is what I get to come home to every evening. This is about the time I get home. And
Sugar-coated Christmas from Cannon Hand Dyes. It's really, really pretty. She had matching bags to go with this last year, too.
Awesome.
I didn't get one. But she sent me, because I love these. These are the perfect little notion bags, you know. And I end up losing my one because I'll stick it in the bag and then I won't be knitting in that bag. So I needed more than one. So she made me. Look at this. They're so cute. They're so cute and wee. So, I'm so excited. So excited. So excited.
Awesome. And then I got something.
Ooh,
she sent me a little note that, nice little note. And she sent me a project bag there. Is this her medium-sized one?
Yeah, it's a medium.
Awesome little fabric there. And matching on the inside with the...
Oh, you gotta look at the inner pockets. I gotta see what she finally did.
Let's see if you can see that. There's inner pockets in there.
But what's on it?
Huh?
I'm being nosy now.
That's the outer fabric.
No.
Oh, the stitch.
This is how perfectionistic Sasha is. And she had to find the perfect stitch.
Oh,
See, I'm even gonna look at that. Look at the little house in the trees. I mean, the detail she puts into this and perfectly straight, perfect stitches and
then I got myself my own little mini box bag, notion bag. So made out of the same fabric as the bag itself. So yeah, awesome. Thank you very much, Sasha. That is much appreciated. It means I can cast on another project and get it going. But no, thank you very much. That was very sweet of you. So
you can put it over here since you're going to be rambling.
I'm always rambling.
You're always. I'm a dog.
So is that it for the...
It's got wee like a pig.
Okay.
Pic'n
on the farm. Gee, thanks. No, I thought I would do a Pic'n on the farm segment because we had done, I guess, last weekend. Yes, we were going to be talking about you briefly because we did a little...
Yes.
We did a photo shoot with him and Fuji, and I had mentioned a couple weeks back that I had gotten a new white muslin backdrop, all cotton backdrop that I wanted to do. Used to do some high key photography, and so we got Dundee and Fuji in there. We did some really nice pictures of them, portraits and stuff. I posted those up on Instagram. I think Dawn also snagged it and put it on her Instagram as well. But I thought, oh, that'd be a good topic to talk about because high key photography is really, it's a neat looking photography, and it's one of those things that that's kind of challenging if you don't understand lighting very well. Because one of the things with high key photography is that the idea is to completely, have a white backdrop. I mean, just completely white, nothing, and then have the subject kind of enveloped by that shine. Dundee, come here. Come here. Thank you. Toy's going away right now. But anyway, so the idea behind that is to get your subject completely enveloped in this white, bright white backdrop, and it's really awesome looking. But to get that to happen is you really need to understand how lighting works, how your camera works. And so I thought I would touch on a couple points that I may have touched on before about exposure and whatnot. But one of the things that's challenging when you put a white backdrop behind something, for those people that have yarn shops or bag shops or whatever, and they use the white backdrop for those, is that it throws your camera meter off. And it's hard to get a good reading on the exposure. And then so what happens if you're not doing this correctly is that everything looks gray or washed out or dark. And the reason why that happens is because the exposure meter in your camera tries to, what they do, average out. So they figure there's an average amount of darks and an average amount of whites, and everything kind of averages out to a gray. And so the camera meters are geared to do that. And so the camera meter looks to see everything like a gray card. This is a middle, what they call 18% gray. This is the middle between white and black. And so when you have one of these and your camera is picking that up, it exposes everything correctly. But when you turn it into white, and you watch how dark we get, because the camera's going to try and correct that. See, we get right. Oh, that's the right exposure. You turn that around, and we turn black. That's what happens with your camera when you try and photograph something that is a white backdrop. Gray, white turns into gray. That's just what happens. And so that's why it's challenging to do high key if you don't understand exposure. Because the difference between the gray and the white is about 4 f-stop settings or shutter speed settings on your camera. So if you can't adjust those, you have a challenge to do that. And so I did want to give you a real-time example of that. And this gray card works really good, because you can see with this in the center, we're actually exposed correctly. But you turn this and it turns really gray. And the more white that takes up, the darker we get. And that's basically how... What?
Because it's like that where you... sad face.
She's in her own little world. So anyway, so I wanted to point that out. One of the things also is with high key, you really need lighting. You can't do this kind of on your own outside, because you need to expose the backdrop a little bit higher than white reads in at, and that way it washes out. It completely washes out. And so you do kind of need to use, some form of lighting, separate lighting on the white backdrop, and then lighting on your subject. I've got 3 lights that I use on mine, and that's how we have it set up. But basically, you need to overexpose slightly the backdrop. You can't expose too much, because when you do that, you start getting glare on your lens. And so it becomes a bright white light shining right into your lens. And so that will actually lower your contrast. So you can't overexpose too much, so that's not an issue. Another thing you want to do with your lens is also clean it, to make sure that anything that's on your lens, when you have a really bright light coming in at your lens, is going to exaggerate the problem. And so you're going to see some really strange effects. And one more thing you want to do is use a lens shade on your lens. So that blocks out some of the peripheral light that's coming in and helps kind of keep it focused. So lens shade, if you have it, is ideal to use it. If you don't have one for your camera, you can buy one like universal that'll screw on like a lens filter. You can screw that on, and it'll help improve the contrast of your picture when you're taking a picture. So those are a couple notes that I wanted to point out. But we did have fun doing the high key. Wanted to point out some of those things that you might not understand because of the way cameras work and the exposure and stuff. If you have your own light meter, I use a light meter to read light. And the difference between using this light meter and the one in your camera is this light meter actually measures the amount of light falling on the subject. It doesn't measure the light reflecting from the subject. So this actually picks up how much light's in the room. It doesn't matter whether it's a dark subject matter or a white subject matter or anything in between. This just records how much light's here. And so you usually put that in front of your subject and you click the button and you get a reading. The way the camera light meter works is that it's actually picking up reflected light. And reflected light is changed by how dark or light it is. So that's why I use this, because this gives a true reading of how much light is, and you can set your camera appropriate. So if you get into the area where you're doing this type of photography, really good investment to get a light meter. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It just needs to be able to read the light that's falling on your subject and not the reflected light from your subject, because those two things are completely different, and the readings are different when you're taking those. So, but that being said, I think that's about all I have for Pic'n on the farm. Hopefully that helps you out if you're a shop owner.
Pictures?
I'm inserting pictures in the background as I was talking. So, but
You didn't tell me nothing.
you told me not to tell you too much, so that I'd surprise
So
you.
then I'm not.
Yeah, it's dozing on me. But anyway, so for those shop owners that use the white backdrop and stuff for their subject matter, that's one of the things that may be challenging for you, and that's why. So maybe that helps you understand how to take pictures of the stuff that you got going in the shop, or if you do portraits or whatever, then hopefully that sheds a little light on what's going on. So let me flick it back to you.
In the
Wake
arena.
up.
We have our Hatchinette one more week for the
Lauren?
August.
Oh, Hatchinette, sorry.
Hatchinette.
Lauren's got another month.
So I don't know if we'll draw for next week because
When is
the 31st is Sunday.
Oh, well, no, we'll give it... We'll be like a week late,
Yeah, we'll be a week late.
because we want to make sure we give you the full
last,
day
yeah.
opportunity to get your stuff in, unless you want to record at like midnight
No.
Monday morning, because it is a holiday. Monday's a
I was
holiday.
thinking Sunday's Dad's
You think she
birthday.
looks tired now? This would be a podcast where just put the camera.
No, that's
over
when I get my goofy on.
Yeah. Well, we get goofy on here sometimes too. So
So we also
designer-
are designer along with
Yeah.
Lauren McMorty, Limit Crochet.
You've seen some of
I
her
showed
stuff.
her
We've shown that already. So
Yeah.
join in, and I'm sure.
Yep, I'm seeing a lot of teddy bears.
Yeah. Get with the
Her
sock.
pattern.
That's a great toe.
Yeah.
Got to get the sock pattern and do it so you understand what Don's talking about.
Yep. You got a whole other month for that, and then we head into the Thea Coleman for 2 months. So,
Yeah.
and I think I'm going to do the vodka lemonade for that one.
Okay.
I have quite a few of her patterns, but I
Find
have that
it.
really pretty peach yarn that I'm wanting to use. I'm
Time to
anxious.
find the right one.
Yeah, I've been looking.
Yeah.
Because I have the Irish coffee, and I was thinking, because that's a short sleeve, but I'm... So for Roundup,
I did mention last week that we did, this will probably be the only time that I do mention this, but we did put in the Fuji button back in the shop. I'd taken it out, and I did put that back in at the request of, several
few.
people, but we did put in a new version based on our photography session that we did with Fuji. So we actually have a new Fuji button.
it
It
says,
says
never give up.
And so that's and you can see that's the Fuji high key portrait that we did for her. So we do have this button. We do have the old one. We didn't want people, if they did want to help out, get the same button again. So we did put this in the shop. It is available. And then, like I said, for those that are interested, that's how you can help out. And then also, if you want, you can get a free Wolf Farm Video Podcast button with any paid order at wolffarms.net. Just during the checkout in the comments area, just put in the comments area that you would like a free Wolf Farm Video Podcast button, and we'll be happy to stick one in your order when we're shipping that up. So I think that about wraps it up. So
I'm just gonna stare at you guys.
Stare down.
So, until next time.
Let's get cracking.
Action
Action
it.
it. Bye, y'all.